Welcome to another thrilling, exciting installment of the Venus and Mars Show, where we discuss the differences between women and men and how to make more meaningful conversations between the genders. We discuss many different topics. Every week is a different subject. And let's delve into it today. I'm your hostess with the mostest, Jennifer DeVoe Muse. You can find the Venus and Mars Show podcast. We are on, just type in for our Facebook page. You can go to our Linktree page, actually. Just type in at Jennifer DeVoe Muse. We are on iHeartRadio. We're on Spotify, YouTube, Twitch. We're on Vimeo, Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, Audible. We're with Sony Music Entertainment, Sony Music Publishing, and The Orchard by Sony, and 50/50 Global Music Incorporated, of course. And like I said, I'm Jennifer DeVoe Muse, and say hello to the amazing China Myers.
Hi, everybody.
Pennsylvania. And the ever charming and beautiful Samantha Bailey.
Happy Halloween, motherfuckers.
Right back at you. I am so glad I got that nasty makeup off. That was horrible. Never want to do that again. Yeah. Anyway, shout out to our buddy Shyler Staver. Congratulations to Shyler Staver and Gina Stewart for tying the rope. I don't know. What do we call it? Jumping over a stick. I don't know. What do they say? They got married.
Jumping over the broom.
Jump in the broom or something.
Yeah.
And
tying the knot.
And there's so much tying the knot. That's what it is. I don't fucking know. I don't know. I've been married for so long, I've forgotten the colloquialisms. Anyway, congratulations.
A cute little story. I remember me and my husband, I went over his house for the first time, and he wanted to carry me over the threshold, but he dropped me. It was so funny because he was like, I can't do it.
I would have been afraid to break my husband's back. There's no way he could have lifted me. No way in fucking hell.
Well, there was no way he did it either. And I
he would have broke his knees, his hips, his back. Everything would have gone out. We would have had to rush him to the emergency room. It would not have gone well. Oh wait, and we lived at a homeless shelter, so I highly doubt that he was carrying me anywhere. Well,
I asked him from time to time, does he want to do it again? And he's like,
Yeah, no.
You don't want to try that again.
Right?
Anyway.
But happy wedding day to Shyler and Gina.
Yeah.
So our best goes out to you.
Yeah.
Exciting. We will discuss this next time they're on. Oh yeah, we should do a wedding episode. Like we should talk about like nuptials or something like that week when they come back on. Like talk about like I don't know, different things that women and men do when it comes to like, you know, getting married and stuff.
Yeah, definitely.
Everybody has different takes on how to do it. You know, everything. Yeah. Cool. Who we got going on? Anybody saying hello? Happy Halloween. Oh, that was Samantha. Okay. Nobody loves us. I'm just kidding.
No, we just got one right as you said that.
Okay.
No way.
Are they criticizing me again?
I honestly thought when we started, I said, whoever that person was, please don't come back and start saying stuff about China.
Was it Paul? What's up, Paul? You watching?
Like, China's a slave.
I don't know how to say this person's name. Bushnell?
Oh, Boshay Bushnell! What's up, Boshay?
It's Boshay! All the way from California.
Yes, I fucking love that woman. I love you, Boshay. I love you.
Boshay.
I miss you so much. She's one of my really good friends from Los Angeles. I miss her. We used to go to concerts and stuff together. We had a blast. I love that chick. She's awesome. Yes, definitely. Hey. So that next time I go to LA, I'm definitely hitting her up. We're gonna hang out.
Have some girl time.
Miss you, dude. What's up? You heard of Debbie Energy? Shut up. What are we doing over here? Anyway, I miss you, man.
I'm the moderator. I gotta be like, hey
Yeah.
yo, any y'all heard of W Energy?
Debbie Energy.
Yep.
Go get your lovely
Get
energy
your
to drink.
Debbie energy drink.
Oh
I
my
went-
god, I still can't believe they have a flavor called Grandpa's Denture Water. It's just wrong. It's just wrong.
I'm sorry, I wouldn't try that.
You wait. You go to try it, and it's the most amazing tasting drink
Probably.
you've ever had in your life. Wouldn't that be crazy?
Probably that'd be
That'd be
crazy.
so crazy.
Yeah, for sure.
Today on the Venus and Mars Show podcast, we are talking about abuse, domestic abuse primarily, but it could really stem around any types of abuse. To be honest with you, because the differences between women and men could encompass many different abuses.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Elder abuse, domestic abuse. It could be like. We're going to get into some really deep subject matter today, people. So if you're faint of heart or you don't want to hear about certain things, you may not want to tune in. I'm just warning you.
Right. Or
because we might talk about such things as domestic violence, sexual assault, rape, incest, other things. Like we could be talking about some very deep subjects. So if you're faint of heart, this is not the one episode for you.
Hey, send me the link so I can share if people want to write in.
Oh yes, most definitely. Hold on.
And Mom,
text it to me.
I think you forgot to add me to your team on here so I can share the slideshow.
Oh, hold on. Add. Team. Here we go. Invite member.
That way I can screen.
Enter your email, Samantha. Hold on. I'm trying to do two things here at the same time. Samantha. Hold on. What am I doing? Typing wrong here. Samantha. Bailey.
.ventures@gmail.com.
Samantha.
Does it have to be?
Huh?
Does it have to be the Gmail associated with my Streamlabs?
Possibly. I don't know. Never done this. We're in the middle of a friggin' thing, and you're asking me to do this. What do we? Is it Samantha.bailey.ventures@gmail, or what are we doing?
Yeah, give me a second. You send that thing to her, not so I can make sure it's right. Yes, it's that one. It's that one.
Until it finishes. Yes.
It's going to be a good show, guys, if we ever get started, right?
Yes, I'll be happy. Okay, there we go. So anyway, today we're talking about different types of abuse, and who more than likely perpetrates them. Hold on a second. And it could be anything. I mean, you can't just say like it's only men that are abusive, or only women that are abusive, or do you know what I mean? Because it could be either. Even domestic violence can go either way. You can't just say, oh, only men hit women. No, there are women that are abusive to men also, or to there's our YouTube channel. If you want to, I just texted you our YouTube channel.
Where people could write in like they're doing on here. Like see it and
they should be able to. Yeah, they should be able to there through YouTube, through our YouTube channel, or they can do it on Facebook. This has many different places where they can like chat from.
Okay.
But to view it live, they can view it on the YouTube or I don't know, any of my Facebook pages, I guess. Where are you going?
There you go.
Oh, good?
Yep, switching to my laptop so when we're ready, I can share the slideshow.
All right. Well, like I said, there's different types of abuse. It's on many different levels. You've got domestic violence, sexual violence, emotional and psychological abuse. So there's like, stalking, homicides. There's different types of abuse too. It gets broken down into like there's physical and emotional abuse. There's child abuse, rape, attempted rape, and sexual assault. There's elder abuse, abuse of LGBTQ plus individuals.
Religious,
yeah. There's a lot of different types of abuse. Child abuse, like I said, human trafficking.
Yeah.
And there's a lot. There's even like penalties by the law if you don't report something. Like if you see abuse is happening and you don't report it, you know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean?
Well, I know when I was a licensed massage therapist, we actually had to do like a yearly thing where patients that we had, if you noticed anything, you had to speak up, and they taught you what to
mandated
do
reporter
and how to address it. Yeah.
Yeah, like a mandated reporter. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like if you go to a counselor or a psychiatrist or anything like that, and you say anything about you're being abused or that you've been abusing someone else or somebody else in your home has been abusing somebody, let's say, you know, like the other parent is abusing you or the kids or any of that type of stuff. And you know what I mean? Like they almost like look at it as like you're just as guilty as the abuser because you didn't say anything.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know what I mean? And on some level, you kind of are because it's like you're enabling it, like you're allowing it to happen without. But a lot of people don't realize there's ramifications with doing stuff like that. What if like you don't have anywhere else to go, and you don't know how to like get out of the situation? You're trying to figure out how to get out of it.
Yeah.
It's not just as cut and dried as all that. Like, oh, I'm just going to call the cops and then they're going to come and arrest this person and that's going to be the end of that. Like, there's so many things that could go wrong. What if they get out of jail, they bail themselves out, now they come to try to hurt you?
Yeah.
Or they kill you and the kids, or there's so many different dynamics. And a lot of it's the other person, whether it be the male or the female, are scared, like legitimately scared of the other person to the point where they're so terrified they're scared to say anything.
Right.
You know what I mean? But there's reasons for it. I mean, like they don't have anywhere to go. Let's say they have no money. Right. Let's say they're being controlled and the other person has control of all the money. Like if you have no money and you have nowhere to go and you have nobody to support you or to help you, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, what happens sometimes is people aren't aware of all the agencies that are out there that can help you.
Yeah, that's a lot of it too. Yeah.
I spoke to a woman and she was in a homeless shelter, and basically she had to take on a new identity, and there's no communication with the ex, and they had like rules and regulations. And she got put out because she was communicating with the ex, and that's a no-no. And I think she let him know where she was, so that was a no-no, because you got people there, and then you're putting these people in jeopardy.
Putting them in danger too.
Yeah.
So
there's a lot of agencies out there. Also, like for homeless people, just so our listeners know, there's a lot of agencies out there. And if you find yourself homeless, go to a church, you know, go to a pastor. You could look in a phone book or on, you know, Google let's say in North Carolina, there's no churches are gone. You know, there's a lot of devastation there. So if you find yourself where you're homeless and you know you don't know what to do, go on Google and call a pastor, you know, in your area. Even though the church is gone, that pastor might answer. or, somebody that belongs to the church or something, and they can give you some help or at least put you on the right track. So that is for people out there who are finding themselves homeless and without hope.
Pretty much every state out there, if you dial 211, it takes you to the state's local resources thing.
Good.
So dial 211, and then it'll go to whatever state you're in. It'll go to their resources line.
No, I didn't know
and then
that.
They can tell you all the different resources in your area. You tell them what you're looking for, like, I'm homeless. I need information on whatever, and then, you know what I mean? And then when I became homeless with my son, I looked up a ton of, I went online and looked up homeless shelters and looked up whatever I could find. And then I called around to all the different ones, found the one that would take me, and that's where we went.
Yeah, see, there you go.
And that is how I met my husband.
Well, hopefully somebody who's homeless right now will hear you and be able to do that, because there's nothing worse than being homeless or in trouble and not knowing what to do. That is even more devastating than the actual, being homeless, in my opinion. Because when you don't have any options, it's scary.
That's the first thing I tell my kids to do: be resourceful. Immediately dial 211. Immediately go on Google and start researching every possible thing you can think of that has to do with resources, homelessness, food banks, anything you can think of. Just start hunting for everything.
Yeah.
And that's what I did, and I got me and the husband up out of the shelter and stuff by applying to programs and shit. And I got several programs to pay for our stuff, pay our rent, pay our food. I got food stamps for us. I did whatever I had to do to make it work.
Yeah. That's what you got to do.
We went to become homeless again. Me and him went to become homeless. And you know what happened? I went on Facebook. I looked some stuff up. I found some guy named Chuck. He was renting out RVs on the side of the road down in the South Los Angeles area. And I hit him up. He said, "Yeah, I got a RV for you to rent for $450 a month."
That was God. That was God right there.
And that was Jenny going on goddamn Facebook. And yes, that was God, obviously. But my point is, but if I hadn't thought about these things, like, I don't know, I always say it was God that put the idea in my head.
Well, of course.
Like, he went, "Jennifer, go on Facebook right now and hunt for this thing." And then I went on there and I found it, and there you go. So, I don't know. I've always been very resourceful, and that's sometimes what you have to do when you're in situations like that. But, so let's talk about, let's start with domestic violence in the home and what that looks like. Just even if it's just like, if it's a husband and wife or a boyfriend and girlfriend or husband, I can't say that anymore. It's like wife and wife, husband and husband. Like, there's so many different dynamics now, but a lot of times,
here's what I looked up. I looked up what are psychiatrists saying why people abuse,
Okay. There you go.
And it says psychiatrists say that people abuse others to gain and maintain power and control over their partner.
That is a big part of it, yes.
Yeah. Well,
other things have to do with mental illness.
I didn't even
sometimes it's a lot of times that's what it is, a power construct. Other times it's also like, if you also have other factors at play, such as mental illness, or if that person that's doing the abusing was also abused themselves. There's a lot of things that lead up to why that person is doing what they're doing.
Yeah, it talks about that. It talks about basically the mental illness thing, and talks about learned behavior.
Yeah, learned behavior, yeah.
Because if maybe their mother or father was that way,
yeah,
and they saw that, every day or something. And then there's of course the desire for control.
Yeah.
And then listen to this, enjoyment.
Oh yes, some people are sadistic and to the point where they achieve pleasure from hurting others.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And it goes beyond like the dominatrix or the dom and domin.
Oh no, yeah, I think so too.
It goes beyond that, but a lot of them are kind of like that. But they're doing it through a controlled way to where it's not abuse, it's for sexual gratification. Like everybody's different for why they do what they do.
Yeah, definitely.
But some people it is to be that way, yeah.
Mm-hmm. But I think I don't know if it's different for men and women because I'm not a psychiatrist. But I think for men it could be more of a control thing. Maybe if they feel like if they do it, they're going to be, in control, and the woman will be, not so apt to not listen or something. You know what I mean? And then for women, in my opinion, I'm not sure, but I think it could be like an anger thing, where they're mad, they're not getting what they want, and they want to hit. Or maybe this guy, is cheating, or you think he's cheating, or you saw something on a text and you started beating him up. You know what I mean? So for women, I don't know if it would be a control thing. I don't know about that for women.
Yes and no. It depends. Like with my mother, it was about control.
Okay.
And she also learned behaviors and mental illness. She had massive, like severe mental illness. So that played a lot into it. But when you have a kid like me who actually did listen and did what she told me to do, didn't do all that extra, you know what I mean?
Did you have siblings?
Yes. Yeah. I was the one who did, like, none of us really acted out, to be honest with you. I mean, I don't know, I don't think any of us, we were all pretty normal. Yeah. I don't remember any of us being like a bad kid or anything. Right. Maybe my older sister did some stuff, but she was 12 years older than me, so I have no real freaking idea what, you know what I mean? She's so much older than me that I couldn't speak to that. Yeah. My father was abused by my mom, and so were me and my older sister.
Verbally.
Physical and verbal and emotional and all that stuff. Yes, mental, emotional, verbal.
Well, it's kind of shocking that you came out okay.
Considering, yeah, I know. And see, I knew how horrible it was to be abused.
Yeah.
And how it made me feel as a person. Mm-hmm. So much to where I never wanted to inflict that on another person.
Right. Now,
I went the exact opposite in the spectrum.
Yeah. In my case, I just learned this when I became an adult. My mother was never home. She was always working, trying to, put food on the table, stuff like that, in her defense. And so basically we raised ourselves. And I tell people all the time, God raised me, it's true. I mean, so, but this is what I found out when I became an adult. Mm-hmm. That neglect was abuse.
Yes,
I didn't look at it like that.
neglect is a form of abuse. Yes.
Yeah, I
Not
didn't.
caring for your
like
children, not making sure that they have whatever, you know what I mean? Same with me. I raised myself. I raised my younger sister who was 5 years younger than me. But with me, my mother was always home. That's the effed up part about it, is that my mother was actually a housewife. She did not work outside the home. My entire existence that I know of, I never, she ran a daycare out of our home, but that was just more children that were subjected to her abuse.
Wow.
Yeah, it wasn't just me and my older sister. She went to hit my younger sister, but my ex-brother-in-law, he went at her and told her that if she ever, touched her again, then he was going to beat the living crap out of her. But didn't stop her from still hitting me, because that's who she took her brunt of her anger out on, was me, because the older sister had moved away and gotten married and had a kid and whatever, and she wasn't there as a punching bag anymore. And I made sure that she didn't hit the younger one. I took all the younger ones' beatings also. So I took the beatings for the older one, and I took the beatings for the younger one.
Wow.
And then I was raising myself and my younger sister from at least the time of age 5 and on, for me anyway. I raised her from the time she was born. And then I raised my niece Jamie for a few years on and off here and there. I also took care of all the children in the daycare.
How are your sisters and brothers doing now? Or you have just sisters?
I have two sisters, one older, one younger, but no brothers. I have two step brothers, but we weren't raised together.
How did they turn out?
My sisters, well, the older one is, I don't know, a lesbian. Not that that's any factor on anything. She's married to a wonderful woman named Denise. I love her. Both of them are amazing. My younger sister's married, has 2 college degrees, and owns her own house. I don't know if that's because I made sure she never got beaten. I don't know. I couldn't tell you. I've probably been the one that has had the most problems in life. Been married 3 times. Been in abusive relationships and all kinds of other shit. But I mean, I have severe mental illness too. I choose to take medications for it though. My mother never got help or never took medication or went to a counselor or any of that stuff. But that was like the 80s, you know what I mean? Like, she died in 1987.
Can I tell you something? We're all mentally ill. We all are.
In one form or another. It's just I have to take a lot of medication on a daily basis because I have.
There's people out there that are mentally ill. They're not taking no medications. But,
I choose to do so because I do not want to be my mother.
Good for you.
I will not become my mother.
Good for you.
I will not be abusive. I will not do that stuff. I will not become her. I don't give a shit.
Yeah. Well, I'm messed up because my whole life I was looking for love. My whole life.
Yeah, because you were neglected.
Yeah.
You didn't get that love from your mother or father or whatever, like your parents. So then you went out hunting for it in other places.
Desperately.
That makes sense. Same with me. I totally right there. I'm right there with you.
You too?
Yes, Samantha too. Yes. Well, you had me, goddammit.
I actually talked about this on my last podcast, but I said that I was looking at from both because my mother had to take the father and mother role, so she was working.
Yeah, that part sucked.
So in ways I was lacking attention from you as well because you had to be both the mother and the father, so you were working all the time.
I tried.
That's not your fault.
Right.
That is not your fault. You had to be.
No, that's not your fault. You did
your
best.
I don't want you to ever think that I was that neglectful parent.
I didn't feel neglected by you. I'm just saying you had to be the mother and the father, so you weren't there all the time. And then I didn't have the father role because my dad wasn't really in my life. So I was saying I was looking for attention.
That's the same with me.
As well.
My mother was trying to pay the bills, and you know, in her defense, that's what she was doing. You can't pay the bills and be with your kids 24/7 either.
No.
When you're the only one, you can't. There's no way. I mean, how are you going to do that? Unless you're, like, there's a lot of opportunities now where you can stay at home and do online jobs, stuff like that. But back in the day, you had to be out there, man. You had to.
A lot of times I had to work 2 jobs. You know what I mean, to take care of them. Yeah.
Well, there you go. You know,
they had a stay-at-home dad for like 5 years named Chris, but he was always there making them dinners and everything else. I mean, I wanted to be that one. You know what I mean? To be honest with you, but is what it is.
Yeah.
Totally. Yeah, is what it is. But I mean, I've always tried to be involved in Samantha's stuff as much as possible. You know, I've always been trying to be supportive of her in different ways. Like,
you gotta give yourself more credit there, dear.
I don't know. I don't know. I feel irritated sometimes because I missed out on so many things that I didn't want to miss out on.
Well, and again, you had to be the mother and the father. You can't do all that and like China said, spend time with your kids. So
yeah, it's just.
But it's the minute I was home, damn it, I was spending time with you guys.
There you go. Yeah, but it's for me. It seemed like my mom was hardly ever home. I mean, she was literally not there. I remember looking for toothpaste and there was none, and so I'm brushing my teeth with Ajax. You know.
Oh. Well, you still got to make sure that you're getting stuff for the kids.
Yeah.
Well, make sure you still got to do grocery shopping. You still got to do the, you know, get stuff for the kids. Make sure that you got toothpaste, toothbrushes. Freaking.
We always had lights, though. We always had lights. Lights were on all the time. I remember times, not poor me, because it's not poor me. I'm just saying, looking back, you know, eating butter, eating mayonnaise sandwiches.
To the person who made that comment.
That was how do you say it? That her name Boshe?
Boshe. I love you, Boshe. I try. I don't ever want to be abusive. It's horrible.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just never liked how it felt.
I know. It just rough. And I think I was like you. Like, I didn't want to be like that with my kids. But on the other hand, you know, they had to be chastised. You know, I'd chase them with the belt sometime.
Oh, yeah.
But it was because, you know, I wanted them to stay on the right track. And I didn't want them to, you know, fall into the cracks and, you know, stuff like that.
Maybe I should have hit Chance with the belt a few times. I'm just kidding.
Yeah. I mean, that's the era I grew up in. My mother, one thing about her, she didn't beat us that often. If she said, oh, you guys are going to get it. Oh, man, we would stay up all night hoping that she would forget or something. One time we put a pillow in the back of our pants because we figured if we fell asleep and she gave us a spanking, she'd be beating a pillow.
You're funny.
But you know, it wasn't often. I think in my whole life she probably gave me like 3 spankings, you know. And that's kind of how I was. It wasn't, you know, all the time, and it was to scare them. But today, you'll go to jail for that. I mean, seriously, that's no joke. You can't hit your kids today.
Oh yeah, no. Even during so there's differences in the cultures. You a white person, okay? You raised a certain way, like if you know what I mean. Like every culture is different how you're raised.
Definitely.
So we're raised to so white bread that it's like, no, You can't hit your
No
children.
hitting.
They need to go in the corner for only
Yeah.
1 minute for every year they are. Okay. So
Black people aren't like that.
if they're 5, they're only allowed to be in the corner for 5 minutes. Okay.
No,
I'm just
black
saying
people
that
aren't
to
like
you.
that.
They're
You
getting
will
a
get your
time
butt
out.
whipped, okay?
You're being redirected.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
No, black people. I don't know. I don't know how these younger parents are, but in my day, you got a butt whipping. Okay.
Mm.
They
Oh
were
yeah, I got
not
the shit
terrible.
beat out of me.
And you
Oh
better be
my
afraid.
God. I remember one time I muttered under my breath. My mother said something, did something horrible that really just bothered me. So I called her a bitch
Did you?
under my breath.
Yeah.
She heard me,
Yeah.
took her hand and backhanded me across. I flew across the living room. I
Yeah.
shit you not. If somebody could fly up out their shoes, that's what would have happened.
Seriously. That's how it was back in the day. And
Or
I remember
she didn't care. She was hardcore. She didn't
you
believe in a
talking
belt.
about
Woman didn't need a belt. She didn't need a
Yeah.
belt. Her
She had
arm.
a heel.
I have a book I'm writing, by the way, and in the book I said her arm came at me and hit me with the force of a side of beef.
Wow.
She literally
no
she didn't
joke.
need a belt. That woman did not need a belt. She hit
Yeah.
harder than any man I know.
Wow.
Horrible.
Yeah.
But
Well,
getting
I
back to
remember-
what you were saying in that sense of lack of attention and you know the nurturement as a child and all those things can lead you down the path to chasing after that feeling from other people,
Yeah.
whether it be friendships or relationships in the sense
Yeah.
of with the same gender, different, you know, opposite gender, whatever.
Well, we got to have a show on that because I got a little theory as far as, and I could be wrong. I'm not a doctor, but I got a theory why women turn gay and men turn gay. This is my theory.
I'd be
Real
interested
quick.
to hear that one.
Real quick. This is my theory. I think women turn gay because they got mommy issues, and I think men turn gay because they got daddy issues. That I could be wrong.
Is that why I'm bisexual?
I don't know. Maybe. Yeah. Seriously.
I have mommy issues and daddy issues.
Yep.
I'm fucked.
You are messed up.
I'm fucked.
I'm
There's
bisexual.
no help for me. What?
Yeah.
I'm bisexual, but I wouldn't say I have mommy issues. Definitely have daddy issues, but
Well, because you have a good relationship with your mother. That's why.
Yeah. I don't know.
That
I could be
was a
wrong.
good joke. That was a good joke, though.
That's a China theory.
That was a good joke.
But yeah, it's
but
a serious subject, you know, abuse. In
but
fact,
it could lead
I
you down
wanted
to
to
that
open up
path.
an abuse shelter in the town I lived in. I wanted to open one up.
Oh,
And
that's good.
I never got to do it, but they
Oh.
did end up opening one in the town that I lived in, Hazleton, Pennsylvania.
Oh, that's wonderful.
And they helped so many people because
Hmm.
not only for women and men, you know, when they need a place to go, but children, you
Yeah.
know, because I was like 14 years old and I was homeless, living on the street, and
Oh.
it was
I
the
remember you
most
telling me about
devastating
that.
thing. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
very devastating. And like I said, I didn't know the options that were out there. You know, I didn't know where to go, what to do. I didn't know any of that. You know,
Back then, they might not have had as many resources as they do now.
Yeah, see, I was thinking that, but I don't know.
I don't even
know.
think they had 211 back then, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I don't think they had all that organization of resources like they do now.
Yeah.
This is a whole nother world, you know what I mean?
Yeah, whole nother world. And I did some research, and there's so many homeless kids in Seattle, Washington.
Oh wow.
I mean, the most in the whole country.
Really?
So could you imagine how many there are? There's a lot. Yeah, children. I mean, there's a lot of homeless people all over the country, of course,
Yeah.
but more children are in Seattle, Washington, and that's just horrific. I don't even understand that. But I think some of them, from what I was reading, some of them, not all, but some maybe had a drug habit, and their parents put them out. You know, a substance abuse habit, and their parents put them out, or they found out they were gay and they put them out. So there was a lot of, not a lot, but there were a few reasons why it's so much, you know, with children.
Just stupid
Yeah,
reasons.
I
Whatever.
know.
Love
I
your
mean,
children.
wouldn't
You
you love
know.
them more, you know, because they have this thing and they're trying to figure it out, you know.
Yeah.
My oldest son is gay, and it's like, I want to get him help because, not because he was gay, but because you need to understand something like that, you know, why and how you deal with it, and because there's a lot of hurt, you know, when you're gay and you're in a society that's not accepting. So you need to learn how to deal with that stuff, because if you try to deal with it on your own, you know, how do you do that? You know,
Yeah.
here's an example. I don't know what it's like to be white. I'm African American. You know, I would have to learn how, if I suddenly, this sounds crazy, but suddenly turned white, I would have to learn how to be that, you know, because I don't know what it's like to be white.
No, because you're so used to living in that world of,
The culture
you
that I'm
know,
in,
like
yeah.
cops stopping you for no reason.
Right.
Just all kinds of horrible shit. People
There's all
saying
kinds of
racist
stuff.
stuff
It's
to
just
you,
not
and
real.
there's so many things.
You
So
know,
many things.
so being
So many
gay,
things.
like, how do you deal with that if you don't really know what it all entails, you know?
Just like I had to learn from my husband about the black experience because I'm a white person. I
Right.
grew up with privilege and whatever. You know what I mean? Like I don't know what it's like to struggle like you guys do. Like all the fucking horrible shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's been done and said and just fucking just so much stuff. Like the stuff that's
Yeah.
being done with the cops and the law in general, like courts and lawyers and judges and just so
Yeah.
much shit. So
Yeah.
much stuff. That's a
And
whole nother episode. That's a whole nother
not to digress, but people have a problem with Black Lives Matter. They didn't do things, in my opinion, the way I would have done things, but they got stuff done, and things
still
are
a great
changing.
organization.
Yeah, things are changing because of them.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people don't want to acknowledge that or believe that, but
I think
even
it's
if you
great.
look on TV, you see more Black people, you know, on commercials and stuff. A lot of stuff changed because of them, you know.
Good. It should.
Cops are being held accountable now. They just
Good.
can't shoot
They
you or get
should.
away with it. I agree.
They should.
So,
Goddamn
a
right they
lot of
should.
things changed, which is good, you
Just
know.
pull people racial profiling. What the fuck is your problem?
Yeah.
Fucker.
And I'm going to digress this last time, but I believe the best thing ever happened, and I have no qualms with cops because I know a lot of good cops, and a lot of cops
Yeah,
have
they're
helped
not all
me.
bad. I'm not saying
No,
that.
no, they're not.
There's some good ones. There's some good
Exactly.
ones.
But there were
Not
some
all like
bad
that.
ones, and
Of
now it's a
course.
good thing that they're held accountable. It really is, because
And they should be.
I agree. So anyway, so the abuse thing, there's so many aspects to it, and
I was going
the
back
thing is,
to what
people have
you
to
were
realize
saying
the signs.
about I was going back to what you were saying though about looking for love in all the wrong places, so to speak.
Yeah, that was
Because
me.
of being neglected or
That was me.
abused or
Yeah.
whatever. So I completely
All you
understand.
had to do was tell me that you loved me, and it was a wrap.
Yep.
It was
Yep.
a wrap.
Yep. I constantly looking for attention from different
I probably would have
people.
sold my soul, really.
I'm right there with you. I had so many fucking issues with the opposite sex, and oh my god, so many. Like I said, married 3 times. I've been in abusive relationships. I've been raped, beaten, tortured, almost murdered a few times. That's what I'm saying. You and I have a lot in common, more so than you think. You know, and so the younger me was a doormat. Was a fucking doormat.
No, I was never a doormat.
I let people walk all over me. I was so nice and so like, because my mother had controlled me, beat me down. I had been so beaten down in life by the time I was 14 that I just, you know what I mean? I was severely abused as a child. I was so fucked in the head. I didn't know what real love was supposed to feel like or look like or any of that shit. And so, you know, I didn't just let the guy hit me. You know what I mean? Like if he hit me, I'd hit him back. I actually fought back. I didn't just stand there and just let him hit me. I wasn't a doormat in that aspect. I mean, a doormat with like friends and stuff. Yeah, I was too, you know, like, oh, I don't want to say no, they won't like me, or I don't want to like, so I went along with stuff more than I should have. I let people use me. I just, too much bullshit. Even my own child, even my own son. Yes, what I'm saying.
Example,
like,
right?
But that's what I'm saying. Like, after so long, like after you get to be a certain age, you're just like, fuck this shit. I'm over this.
Yeah.
But I no longer allowed men to do that to me anymore. But then I was allowing my son. Are you fucking shitting me? Wait, I'm just replacing one thing for a fucking another? That's not healthy either. It all had to go. I had to burn it all down.
Good for you.
I had to burn it all down and rise up out of the ashes a different person.
Good for you.
That happened about 6 months to a year ago. Almost a year ago. I finally woke the fuck up from my zombie.
Better late than never.
I just wish it had been way earlier.
Well, hey, it's life.
Samantha, what are your thoughts on that aspect of like looking for friendships, relationships, or whatever?
You know, the wrong places.
Yeah, because of that.
It's echoing. I'll give my thoughts. And do you see my message? I wanted to.
Oh yes, share your slideshow or whatever.
I made a slideshow for this, so that's why I'm excited to share it because
do your thing.
And
yes, you know, she did a lovely job.
Yes.
So how does this work?
I'm a nerd, so I'll share it after.
Okay, good. You do whatever you're doing.
You adding me on your team gave me the ability to share. That's why I wanted you to add.
Okay, awesome. Now that I know that that's a thing, yeah.
Yeah.
No, I just live stream this shit. I don't fucking know.
What was the question again? What's my thoughts on what?
What are your thoughts on looking for affection, attention, love, anything from the wrong places because of being neglected or abused? Like, you know, friendships and relationships and stuff. You just didn't care.
Basically, how did it form your worldview? How are you because of what you were saying?
Right.
Yeah.
I feel like it's when you're lacking. I mean, and this is like in a lot of ways of our life, not just like being abused or neglected, but it's a lot of things where we're missing a vital thing in our life. So it's just kind of an automatic thing to search for that in another way because we're trying to fill up for something that we need to be completed as a person, And so it's kind of something that's just internally going to happen, that you're automatically going to be looking for that, whatever it is, in another place. So that, I mean, and that's what I mean. It could be anything from health or whatever. If you're dehydrated, you're not drinking water, you're going to be trying to search for that in some other way. Like, it's just part of our function as human beings. So
we're looking for a replacement.
Yes, looking for
to
a
fill
replacement.
that gap or that void, so to speak.
Right.
Okay, I got you.
Better way of putting that. But
yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
But
and basically that's what I did.
Yeah.
Right. And so it's like, that's the thing where we're young and we're so impressionable, and things that we need the most are, and it doesn't have to be a mother and father, but just, and this is what I was talking about on my last podcast, but just having that kind of roundness of like a good relationship with a family, and it could be with a grandparent, but when you don't feel like that has been fulfilled, you're going to look for that in other places. So like for me, it was because I felt like I wasn't, and it was more so for me, the male figure, not having a set male figure, because my dad wasn't really in my life when I was younger. That's where I noticed as I got older, and even when I ended up having to live with my dad, I was looking for male attention because I was not getting it from my father. And so that's where I kind of have reflected on a lot of things that I did when I was younger, talking to boys, even older men, just solely because of that fact of I was looking for that male attention. And so I would do anything to find that somewhere else.
Definitely.
And as you get older, it's kind of that thing where you're like, you kind of recognize it and just realize like, okay, like maybe that's something I'm not proud of, but I understand it. I know why I was looking for it.
Exactly. In fact, I remember my sisters thinking that I was like a whore,
Oh, damn.
When I wasn't a whore. And here's that thing about you saying being a doormat. I wasn't a whore. I looked for love. And when it would turn bad or the person was verbally abusive or whatever,
you're on to the next person.
Yeah.
On to the next. Yeah.
So
that was him. Yeah.
That might look like, oh, she's got another boyfriend. She's getting married again.
Right.
But, I have enough self-respect to know that when I'm being taken advantage of, or not loved, or I'm in this relationship with somebody who doesn't even care about me, why am I still here? So I don't have a problem. I didn't have a problem with moving on. So that might, in my younger years, that might look like, oh, she's got another boyfriend.
Sometimes I would stay way longer than I should have.
Well,
and it was like, you know what I mean? Well, because I was exhausted at some point. Like, you can do that so many times, and then you're just exhausted by it. And you're like, oh my God, okay, at what point am I going to stop this craziness and keep going from person to person to person? So, like, sometimes I would let shit go on, like, longer than I should have. Husband number one, I didn't want to hurt his feelings and devastate him, because he's such a good person. One of the nicest human beings on this planet. And I really did love him. It just, we weren't meant to be. It is what it is. That's not his fault.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, good person though. Wonderful person. So that was more so my grandmother guilted me into going through with it when I tried to back out 6 months before. And then, husband number two was just, I was exhausted from from my child. It being ridiculous. But that relationship went on longer than it should have. But I formulated a plan to get the fuck out of that one. And I was smart about it. And I was really smart about how I left my son's father too. I saved up a bunch of money and hid it in the Christian Bible, because I knew that was the place he was never going to look, because he's Jewish. What's a place that a Jewish person's not going to look?
Yeah.
A Judeo-Christian Bible. Hello.
And that was her dad?
Oh, no, that was my son's father.
We have different.
He was a total douchebag. He was abusive, verbal, mental, emotional, never physical. I would never let it get that far. I was 7 months pregnant with my son when I ditched out of that one. He was severely abusive, and I had just gotten out of the abusive relationship right before him with the other guy who had raped me, beat me, tortured me, and tried to murder me several times. Then I go to my son's father thinking he's a great guy. He tried to save me from the other one, and he's my hero, and he's wonderful. He turned out to be a douchebag abuser too. Not physical or sexual, but emotional, verbal. Yes, used to threaten to kill me a bunch. Anytime he didn't get his way, whatever, he just threatened to kill me. So I formulated a plan when I was 7 months pregnant. I said I started about 2 months before that. I was about 5 months pregnant. I'm like, I need to formulate a plan to get the fuck up out of here. I was living in Los Angeles, and I'm from Maine, and I was like, how am I going to get back to Maine? I worked for the casino industry at the time and was making about anywhere from $550 to $700 a week because of commissions. I was making mad commissions at that time. Everybody was gambling. Everybody was gambling in the late 90s. Everybody. And so I was making mad money. So I'm getting all these big checks and stuff. I'm like, so they were handwritten payroll checks with no check stub. So I'd go down to the Bank of America and I'd cash it. And then I'd go home and I'd lie and say, "Oh yeah, I only made $300 on this check, or $250 or whatever it was," and it was really like a $600 something check. I pocket the difference. I just put it away. I'd sock away the difference and hide it in my mom's Bible, and it was sitting in plain sight. It was sitting in plain sight on the bookshelf in amongst a bunch of other books. It was just sitting there all that time, all that money right under his fucking nose, and didn't even know it was there. And he was a compulsive gambler, horribly so. Oh, horrible gambler. He freaking used to steal money out of my purse and go gamble. And there was the rent money. And he'd run off and go gamble, thinking, "Oh, I'm going to make this money." You don't know, motherfucker. Anyway, so I formulated a plan. I saved up a bunch of money behind his back. I lied. I'm getting ready to give birth in a couple months. I need to travel before I can't travel. I need to be with my family. I miss my family. I need to be with my sisters when I go to give birth. It was an act.
You did it.
All an act. I made him believe me. Oh, and then I told him I was coming back to California after I had our son. I was going to move back to Los Angeles. We were going to be a family. God, I'm the best liar on the planet. I swear to God, I should get an Academy Award for the shit I have told motherfuckers. I'm sorry, but and I formulated a plan to get out of her father too. His ass went down. He threatened to kill me. He threatened to kill me. He threatened it. He kidnapped my daughter from the fucking babysitters. Took her. He went to my sister's place, his sister and her little boyfriend, girlfriend's place, and we're sitting there with her. And I went over there to get my daughter, and he wouldn't give her back. I called the cops. They wouldn't do shit, even though he had 4 counts of substantiated abuse against him by Child Protective Services.
And they wouldn't give her back.
Did they? Oh, they didn't have the whole story. I kept trying to tell them that. They weren't listening. Well, when you threatened, he called me and threatened me and said, "I'm taking our daughter up north and you will never see her again." Do you know what that says to a mother? You just threatened to kill me. I'm sorry. Right. You threatened to take my baby up north and I would never see her again. That's the same thing as you saying you're going to kill me, motherfucker. Right. So I called the cops the next morning because they wouldn't give me my daughter that night. I called the cops the next morning, started crying and saying he threatened to kill me. Got his ass arrested. They said, ma'am, you need to come and get your daughter right now. Like right now. We're driving over there to arrest him. I drove over there. They handed me my daughter. His ass got put in fucking handcuffs and hauled away.
Yeah.
And then he went to the babysitters and was stupid enough to say he was going to kill me. She told me. I went down and had him violated on his probation.
Wow.
He got arrested and went back to jail. He got arrested and went back to jail. Shouldn't rub shitty underwear in my son's fucking face on repeated occasions. Shouldn't grab my son up by the throat. Shouldn't grab my son by the back of the neck. Shouldn't hit my kid. Shouldn't fucking grab my daughter and take her away from me. You shouldn't grab me by the arms and shake me in front of my children and laugh in my fucking face. You got what you deserved, bitch.
Basically.
And I'd do it again.
Basically.
And I laugh about it. I don't give a fuck. You got what you deserved.
Yeah.
He was abusive to my son.
Yeah.
Her father abused my child. Fuck him.
Sounds like it.
That's what I'm saying.
Like
Fuck him.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit.
Whenever we're ready, I'll do this.
Yes, go right ahead because I need to calm down and smoke some weed. Share the screen, please. I'm sorry.
All right, guys. I'm about to do a presentation, so enjoy it. Okay. Screen. Wait. Sorry. Hold on. It's gonna say addition. It's gonna say addition and subtraction. It's just the template I use. Don't ask. But anyways.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Can you guys see this? Can you
hit like show on stream?
What?
Can you gotta click show on stream.
There we go.
All
right. Guys, wait, do you guys want it? Hold on.
Awesome.
This way? Do you want it this way? Do you want to be on that?
Yes. That's
Yeah,
fine. Yes.
There we go.
like
See, now you guys can see us and the slideshow. I'm gonna press present so you guys can see that. Just let me know if this looks all right. Good?
Good.
Yes, I like it. I like it.
Make sure that there we go. Okay. All right. This is why and how men and women abuse.
Okay.
Before we dive in, why do you think men and women abuse? So this is just like a conversation starter.
Yeah.
But I know we talked about that a bit.
We talked about this already, part. Yes.
Yeah, I just wasn't sure what time in the episode I would play, so I just had that. All right.
It was earlier on. Yeah.
The topic points are prevalence, forms of abuse, reasons for abuse, and cultural and societal influence.
Ooh, I like it.
Me too.
First, we're going to go into the 10 forms of abuse.
Yeah, let's do it.
So there's physical, and right down here, I had linked the website that I found the different forms of abuse. So there's physical, domestic violence, sexual, emotional, financial, modern slavery, discriminatory, organizational, neglect, and self-neglect.
So that modern slavery basically means traffic, right?
Right.
Yeah, like sex trafficking. Yeah.
Okay, just so people know. Okay.
Yeah.
Prevalence. So
You're
this.
thinking, whoa, they got slaves now?
There are. You'd be surprised.
I know. But trafficking, that's
sex trafficking. That's a form of enslavement.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So this is the prevalence in men. So 1 in 9 men in the U.S. have experienced severe intimate partner physical violence, which includes hitting, being beaten, or using a weapon against them. In 2022 to 2023, men reported being victims of coercive control and emotional abuse at rates similar to physical abuse.
Okay, damn.
Forms of abuse. And this is in men. So men predominantly use physical violence, punching, choking, or using objects as weapons when involved in abusive behaviors. However, they also engage in psychological abuse, including controlling behaviors, isolation, and threats. Coercive control is increasingly recognized as a critical form of abuse by men. This includes tactics like financial manipulation and restricting their partner's movements or communications.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Reasons for abuse: power and control. Studies indicate that in 75% of domestic violence cases involving men as perpetrators, the driving force is the desire to assert dominance and maintain control over their partner.
Right.
Substance abuse. The correlation between substance use, particularly alcohol and drugs, and abuse remains high. In 2024, approximately 50% of male abusers have substance abuse issues, which amplify their aggressive behaviors.
Good point.
Good point. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know I thought that was very interesting. Mental
That
health.
one would be the Howard guy before Chance's father. That was substance abuse played a heavy role in that one. That was he was always drunk or on drugs.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're saying that was mainly, not mainly, but some of the reason why he was abusive.
I think that was a lot of it, but obviously I think he had mental illness too, so that was another factor. I don't know, yeah. Which is the next thing she's about to talk about.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, there's several things too, and like this saying, it's amplifying.
Yeah.
It usually has to do with there's something underlying that the substance, whatever substance they're using, is just only amplifying that whatever that they have going
Right.
on.
Yeah.
Okay.
That
So
is
it's
mental health
not,
issues, or
it's not the reason for.
right.
It only adds to it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mental health issues. Untreated mental health conditions such as PTSD, depression, or anger issues, which that's what you were talking about. This is what is being amplified by the substance. Continue to be a significant contributor. Around 35% of men who abuse have underlying mental health challenges that remain unresolved.
Right.
Yeah, I
And
think
then
so.
Yeah.
Why they're doing it just didn't happen. It just, it's something that been going on, or, like you said, used to, or so. Good point.
Right. Like Mom, like in your case, like being abused as a child, substance is only going to amplify your PTSD and things like that. So
I'm surprised it didn't amplify my anger. Surprised I'm not I've never been an angry drunk or an angry drug user. That's crazy. Like that just makes me go like, usually somebody like all the anger that should be in somebody like me from all the shit that's been done to me over the years, you would think that if I drank, I'd be like an aggressive or angry drunk, but I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm actually a happy drunk. And you would think if I'm on drugs that would amplify my anger, but it doesn't. That's the weird thing. I don't know. Maybe I'm just backwards. I think I'm backwards. That's what it is. I'm fucking
Well, no, there's certain things that trigger people. So alcohol or,
right.
marijuana gummies just aren't that thing that triggers you.
I think too, though, that you've worked a lot on healing
yourself.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean all the thousands of hours of psychiatrist appointments and counseling sessions?
Right. If you were someone that was struggling from the effects of something like that and then drinking, that would be different.
Yeah.
Like
no, I've always believed in getting help.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm not. If you like, I've gotten substance help. I've gotten, you know what I mean? I have 2 DUIs. That's what's fucked up. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, and I'm not even a big drinker. My husband's like, how the fuck do you have 2 DUIs and you're not an alcoholic? Like, you don't even really drink.
Yeah.
That was God's way of saying, don't be a drunk. Because obviously anytime you get drunk and you're stupid, then you get a DUI. And that's him saying, what the fuck? What the fuck? What are you doing, Jennifer? He's yelling at me from up ahead, above. What are you doing? What are you doing?
I
Stop being
know.
stupid.
I know. He said to me many times, "Stop it. You don't.
Stop
I
it.
love you. Stop
I
looking
can't
for people to love you."
stop it. Right. That's what I'm saying. Exactly.
Yeah, definitely.
You guys ready for the
Yeah.
next part?
I got
Yeah.
the amazing JJ. JJ.
We good?
Yeah.
Yeah. Go for it.
Sorry,
I was just telling my husband how amazing he is.
I can't see you guys while I'm doing this. That's why I'm asking.
No,
Yeah,
go for it.
Go for it.
Okay. Cultural and societal influence. Gender norms still play a role. Many men grow up in environments that normalize aggression or toxic masculinity, which can lead to abusive behaviors later in life. Cultural conditioning around masculinity and the use of violence as a tool of control has not diminished significantly.
Okay.
Well, that one's pretty interesting too.
Yeah.
So now this is all of that, those topics, but within women, and then we'll go into
Okay,
some.
got you. Okay, I
So
like
this
that.
is prevalence in women. 1 in 3
Oh.
women, 736 million women, approximately 30% of women aged 15 and above, were reported to have experienced physical or sexual violence from a partner globally. Forms of abuse. Women are more likely to engage in emotional and psychological abuse than physical violence.
Yes,
Verbal
that
abuse,
is true. Usually.
manipulation, and psychological tactics, such as isolating their partner from social connections, are common tactics. Physical violence still occurs, but in many cases, women who commit physical abuse report that it happens in self-defense or retaliation against ongoing abuse.
But is that true, or are they just saying that?
Well, that's probably what it's probably a survey or statistics. They're going by statistics maybe. I don't know.
Yes. This is on report. I mean, there's tons of things that go unreported, so.
Well, yeah, of course, but I mean, just like as far as women being an abuser,
Yeah.
Right.
I mean,
Reasons for abuse. Self-defense. Around 40% of women who report engaging in abusive behaviors claim they acted in self-defense, especially in relationships where they had endured long-term physical or emotional abuse.
well,
Emotional
self-defense is one thing. Yeah. Go ahead, sorry.
Right. No, you're good. Emotional instability. Women who have a history of trauma, anxiety, depression, or unresolved psychological issues are more likely to abuse their partners, though the abuse may not always be physical. And this one right here, I was like, oh yeah, this is definitely something I would think. Jealousy and insecurity.
Right.
Emotional and psychological abuse often stems from insecurity, mistrust, or jealousy. About 30% of women who abuse engage in controlling or emotional manipulative behaviors out of fear of infidelity or abandonment.
That's definitely a woman thing, right? For sure.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah, women tend to be more controlling or emotionally manipulative versus physically violent.
Or insecure for sure.
My mother did all of the above.
Is your mom still alive?
No. No, she died she died 9 days before my 14th birthday.
Oh,
January
you were young.
21st of 1987.
You was young, huh?
Yeah,
Yeah.
but enough years on this earth for her to fuck me up royally.
Yeah. What
Thank
about your
you.
dad?
Oh yeah, he's still alive. He just was the he was emotionally never there. He was almost never physically there. When he was physically there, he was emotionally checked out also. He just not touchy, lovey, feely, huggy. He's just not that person. He don't tell you he loves you. He's just, I don't know. I don't know. He just never. He was emotionally gone, distant too. You know what I mean? So that's why I have mommy issues and daddy issues.
Yeah, I'm telling you. I think my
Neglect,
theory's right.
neglect and abuse, or emotional, like no emotional, like nothing. Like I didn't get hugged by my either parent. I didn't get told I was loved by either parent. My mother was always like, she'd call me the white Ethiopian because I was so fucking skinny. But then she'd turn around like a few days later and tell me I was fat and ugly.
Wow.
Does that make any fucking sense?
No, so she
And I
messed you
was
up with
skinny
your,
as a stick. I was skinny as a fucking stick.
so she body shamed you.
Yeah, so I've always had physical issues. I've body dysmorphia.
Hmm.
It took me a long time to be comfortable with myself the way I am.
Yeah.
It took
Good
me
for
a
you.
really long time. And even then I'm still like, I don't know, like most women, I guess, like, oh god, yeah.
Yeah.
Need to lose weight. Yeah.
I don't care. My body is what it is. I do my best and whatever.
I know, right? I'm just trying not to have the diabetes.
I don't blame you. Yeah.
But no,
Continue.
yeah. So that's why I say I have mommy, daddy's and daddy issues because like I didn't have anything from either parent. I don't know.
Yeah.
So I just kind of like it's that whole thing. Like that's why I always started to think about that too. Like, is that why I go from relationship to relationship, job to job to job? Like I never settle on anything. Like even with college, I kept changing degrees, like my majors. I kept changing
Indecisive.
majors. Like it was when it was just like I like so many different things. It's ridiculous. But the point is like no, but going from one thing to another to another to another without fully completing anything, without you know what I mean.
They
I
call
think
that indecisive,
well, I don't
right?
know, whatever the fuck it is, but if you're going from, no, I think it's, you're fucked in the head because who needs to work that many goddamn jobs? Like, who needs to go from, instead of finding one set career for myself, I'm going from job to job to job to job to job, like, flitting through life, like, you know what I mean?
All
Like,
right. All right.
college,
Let's have
I
a
don't know,
therapy. Let's have a therapy session. Why do you think that is?
because of my mother and father fucking me up in the head. I'm telling you. I
Okay.
never had no completion of anything. We moved so many fucking times in my life. We moved so many times. You know what I mean? Like so many things, so many changes, so many constant changes in my life. I think I got so used to that. I'm like job to job to job, never settling in one thing,
Okay.
relationship to relationship.
Let me teach you a life hack. Let me teach you a life hack. Okay. Those things happen to you, right?
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Those things happened to you. Your mother was an ass. Your dad was unavailable.
An ass. That's a good way of putting
You know,
it.
those things happen. Now
Yeah.
you're an adult.
Oh yeah, now that's different.
Well,
That's
what I'm
different. I'm
saying
talking about
is,
the old me.
but I can tell that it's still in you. So you have got to symbolically do it when nobody's around. Symbolically write your mother's name on a piece of paper and your father's name on a piece of paper. And under
Okay.
that piece of paper of your mother with her name, you write, I forgive you. And write the same piece of paper with your dad's name. And under that, you write, I forgive you.
Okay.
Then you're going to take those pieces of paper, put them together, and you're going to burn them.
Oh, cool.
That
I've
is
done
symbolically, that is symbolically going to end what they did, what they said, what you felt, and what happened. It's going to symbolically end all of it in your mind.
Right.
Because let me tell you how the brain works. Here's an example. My mother cut the back of her foot, right? And she
Hmm.
didn't know it. The hatchet, she was cutting fish, and the hatchet fell off the counter, and it cut the back of her foot. But she
Oh,
didn't
dang.
know. She just felt like a bump, right, from
Mhm.
the hatchet fall. She didn't know it cut her.
Dang.
So she walked around, and then she realized, oh my goodness, my foot was cut. Well, that's when it started to hurt. Because at that point, her brain realized that she was cut, but didn't realize it before that.
Until she saw it.
Until she saw it. And then the brain
Uh,
sends, a signal to the nerves, and then, you feel this pain.
yeah.
So by doing the piece of paper with saying you forgive them and burning it is going to send a signal to your brain and let your brain know that it's okay to move on from this. And it's okay to forgive them. And it's okay.
Oh, I've forgiven my dad. I love him. Him and I get along really well.
Yeah.
I love him. We go up, me and my husband go up there and play like card games and stuff with him and my stepmom.
Okay.
Oh, I love my dad and stepmom very much. They're awesome. They're good people. We always go up there and visit them and have fun and stuff. So I've gotten over all that. I've gotten over what my mom's done to me too. I just know that that's what led me to all the bullshit up until now.
Yeah.
I think I was carrying all that shit around with me until about, I want to say 8 months ago.
Okay.
And then I had this fucking like breakthrough. It was like
epiphany?
but I decided to just, I don't know what it was. I decided I've had enough.
Good for you.
Why am I still carrying all this fucking baggage around in me? Why do I still feel guilty about all these different things and whatever else? And I said, you know what? Fuck that shit. I'm done.
Good for you.
And then I felt like the biggest weight lifted off my shoulders after that happened.
I bet.
It was crazy. It was like that burning the paper thing.
Mm-hmm.
So like, yeah, I've forgiven my mother. Like it's over. It's done with. You know what I mean? Yeah. But I can still talk about it. When I used to talk about it, I would get so upset and like I would cry and stuff.
Emotional.
And like, I don't get emotional anymore. Like it's like I'm like a whole different friggin' person. I don't know what it is.
That means you moved on from it.
See, I let go. Yeah, and I let go of the whole thing with my son. Like I had to.
Yeah.
Because it was going to eat me alive if I didn't.
In my case, as far as my mom is concerned and my dad, my mom, I kind of looked at it like she was surviving. She did the best she could do.
Yeah, she had to support kids and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, there were 7 of us. She was
oh,
really
dang.
struggling,
okay, yeah. So she really needed, she needed help. Yeah.
So like the neglect was all part of her doing what she needed to do.
Oh yeah, she had 7 kids. Holy crap. Yeah. Okay, that's a lot.
And as far as my dad's concerned, like he was who he was. I mean, what are you gonna do?
Oh, what's the dad story?
he was a Rolling Stone.
Oh, Papa was a Rolling Stone. I gotcha.
He was a Rolling Stone.
Probably had more kids than just the 7 of you, huh?
Yes, and I found that out.
Oh, dang. You got sisters and brothers out there. You didn't even like, whoa, holy crap.
Yeah. But I try not to judge him either. Who knows what he was going through? I don't know. You don't know what people are going through unless you.
Maybe it's because he was young. Who knows? Yeah, it's hard to say.
Might have been young and dumb, and But anyway, go on, Samantha. I'm sorry.
Yeah, my bad. We got off on a
tangent.
Yes.
No worries. I have squirrel brain, so sometimes I'm just like, cultural and societal. No, you're good. My brain's at the point where it's like beep bop robot. Cultural and societal factors can also contribute to women abusing others, though it tends to manifest in different ways compared to male abuse. Emotional psychological abuse are more common forms used by women, often rooted in feelings of jealousy, insecurity, or power dynamics within relationships. Some women may engage in retaliatory abuse,
Dang.
especially if they have experienced prior victimization. Additionally, societal pressures around caregiving and perfectionism can lead women to exert control over their partners or children through manipulation or verbal abuse. In some cases, cultural norms that promote traditional gender roles or idealized family images can contribute to abusive behaviors as a way to maintain control. My goodness. Can't speak. I know how to say all these words, y'all. I've been awake for a long time. Don't.
That's okay. That's okay.
Okay, now we're getting to the fun part. Key shared factors for both men and women. This is what they have in common.
Oh, dang.
Give it to me.
Past trauma and learned behavior. Both men and women who perpetrate abuse often come from households where violence was normalized. 70% of abusers have witnessed or experienced abuse during childhood, leading to an ingrained cycle of violence. Economic stress. Financial difficulties and unemployment have continued to play a significant role in abusive behavior. Stress related to financial strain exacerbates tension within households. Economic hardship, particularly following the COVID-19 pandemic, has seen an increase in domestic violence cases globally.
Oh, wow.
People stuck in the same house all day. They didn't have to before because they were both at work.
They were like, who's that guy?
That's what I'm saying. Shit comes out. Go ahead.
Substance abuse. Substance use disorders remain one of the leading contributors to domestic violence for both men and women. Alcohol, in particular, is linked to an increase in both physical and emotional abuse. 50% of all domestic violence cases involve substance abuse by one or both partners.
Right.
Power dynamics. Abuse is often tied to power imbalances in relationships. Whether the abuse is physical, emotional, or financial, the perpetrator seeks to assert control. Men, in particular, are more likely to abuse when they feel their authority or control is being undermined. Impact of the pandemic. The COVID-19 pandemic worsened rates of domestic abuse, with both men and women reporting higher incidences of violence in 2021 and 2022. 45% of women surveyed post-pandemic said they or someone they know had experienced abuse, and many women reported that financial stress and isolation exacerbated their partner's abusive behavior.
My question were they abusive before the pandemic also, or only since the pandemic? Like, that's crazy. Like, people just automatically be like, okay, I see you're trapped in the house or whatever, and you guys are maybe arguing more because you're under each other's feet all the time. I don't know. Yeah, but it just makes it's just crazy.
I think too, like, we as human beings like need to have a balance and be able to get out and like have space from our partners. So having to be in the same household and not really being able to go hang out with your friends or go do different things and be your own person,
people
probably created a lot
lacking more social,
right.
Yeah,
probably created a lot more tension.
But for me, I don't know, people like me and JJ though, we could be at home and watching shit on Netflix and we're happy. It doesn't really matter. Like we're those people that can do anything anywhere. It doesn't really matter. We don't have to go out and be with people to be happy. But we also worked through the entire pandemic. Both of us worked.
Did you?
We both worked 2 jobs. Him and I both worked for a security company, and we also worked at McDonald's. Both of us at the same time working for 2 companies. We were never unemployed during the fucking pandemic. Not once. We were always working.
So McDonald's was open?
Yeah. Not as much not as like it was more restricted.
Yeah.
But I still fucking worked 20, 30 hours a week, plus did the security job.
Yeah.
I didn't
All right,
stop.
Samantha, let's wrap this up.
Yes, go for it.
I had a thought too. I was wondering too, I wonder if like there were people that already had abusive tendencies, but this only amplified it because they didn't have like an outlet and probably couldn't really get therapy or mental health services.
Well, the money aspect of it too, though, Samantha. Think about that. The money aspect of it.
It's a combination of.
You don't have as much money coming in, maybe. Right. What if your job? I don't know. It depends on what kind of job you had. It depends on like some people like in LA or like do a lot of background acting and other shit like that. And if you can't act, it's not like you're just magically getting some fucking money. Like that's based on gigs. It's not based on like having a set freaking job. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And you know, there are people who, you know, didn't work at McDonald's. Maybe they had other jobs that shut down. I mean,
there was a lot of places. A lot of places were restricted or shut down. Different types of industries. It just depended on what you did. Go for it, Samantha.
Recent laws and social changes. What?
No, I can see that though. Go ahead.
Oh, yeah. No, it's definitely a combination of a bunch of things, but that was the thing I was wondering too. That could contribute to that. Recent laws and social changes in 2024. New laws and policies. Several countries have enacted new laws aimed at preventing domestic abuse, including legislation that targets coercive control and expands the definition of domestic violence to include emotional and economic abuse. Increased awareness campaigns. Social campaigns highlighting emotional and psychological abuse have become more prominent, encouraging victims, both men and women, to seek help even if the abuse is non-physical.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And so the last of my slides are just a bunch of resources that I have compiled. So this is general resources, and here's a bunch of different hotlines, websites, and it explains the services. So if any of these may pertain to someone you know or to you, or
share that stuff in the comments too.
Yeah.
So there's general resources, then we have specific resources for men. And then we have LGBTQ plus resources.
Mm-hmm.
Then there is child abuse and elder abuse, especially with like my new job at the credit union. Elder abuse is really increasing, especially romance scams, taking financial abuse right there within the elder community.
Yeah, we had that at Spectrum. People scamming old people so they can buy phones and shit. Horrible. I don't know how many people I put a kibosh on that shit. Yeah. I figured out that's what they were trying to do, and I put a kibosh on that shit.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I canceled the order.
Yeah, good.
I would call the actual customer.
Yeah.
Find out like, oh, you know, like this is an older customer. I went and call the customer, and then and they'd be like, I didn't order any phones. Like, that's what I thought. Thank you. I'm canceling that order. But sometimes they go to people.
And this one right here is perfect for that.
Yeah.
Because right here, resources protect elderly individuals from all forms of abuse, including financial exploitation, which, like we said, really
a friend of mine, her mom, I guess some guys came to her door and they told her that she needed a new roof, and she was like, oh, I didn't know. And they said, well, we could put it on for you really cheap. And they gave, I forget how much, I don't want to say how much it was because I forget how much it was, but she wrote them a check, and they just left. They didn't even put the roof on. So,
of course not.
Like, that is what
now they have her information. And now they have her information. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So the daughter had to step in and take charge and, fix that whole thing. But yeah,
Good.
that happens. I
That's
got a
sad.
call the other day, said I had a loan or something in Pottsville and the loan was delinquent. I said, okay, hold on a second. Let me get my husband that works for the FBI because he should be in on this call. And they hung up.
Oh yeah. I just hang up on them. They start talking some shit. Click. I don't even say
Yeah.
nothing. I just go click.
Great job, Samantha.
Click.
You did a great job.
It was
And
a
I feel
wonderful job, Samantha. Wonderful job.
I feel like it's probably really increased since pandemic because I mean, again, everyone's at home and elderly people, especially if they lost their loved ones or something, they're seeking for that attention. And so that's horrible because it's a perfect entryway for these scammers. They know that they're lonely and that they're more impressionable and they're able to take advantage of these poor elderly people. So
Yeah.
it's really
It's a
sad.
shame.
So there's sexual
I
assault
like to school elderly people.
and then the last slide is financial abuse resources and international resources.
Oh, nice.
So what's great about that is you had some 800 numbers, which is really good. Like I said, put that in the comments because
You can also share that on our the Venus and Mars show podcast pages on social media and stuff.
Yeah.
Or send it to me and I'll share it or whatever.
Not in the sense of excited to talk about abuse because that's a tough subject. But I was really excited to share this presentation because I compiled
wonderful job. It was amazing.
And yes, especially thought it was really important for those last few slides of the resources because sometimes people don't know how to reach out. And so those are all the resources if you need help.
True.
That's what I was saying. Like they don't know that there's a place they can go. When I used to have my radio show, which I will send you the link for that, Samantha, I forgot.
Yeah.
But there was a woman on there who is in charge of this organization, and basically you can go there, and it's in Allentown, Pennsylvania. But you can go, and she said they have places all over where they help people.
Mm-hmm.
But you can go there and you can eat, and they find you a place to live. Like they have so many options for people. But if you didn't know, how would you know?
Yeah.
Right.
You didn't know about that,
Mm-hmm. So why you got to open your mouth and ask questions.
Damn right.
So I dial 211 for your local resources.
And is that all over the country? Because I never knew about that.
As far as I know, most cities have it.
Yeah. Okay.
You know what I mean? I don't know. It's a good resource. I don't know if every single place on the planet has it. I mean, in the sense of the United States, but most places have that.
Okay. Well, they have it in Maine.
In 99% of the U.S. and across Canada, you can use.
And I know they have it in California too.
Okay. Well, she just said she looked it up across the United States.
In 99% of the U.S. and across Canada is through 211.
There you go.
Dial, was it?
Huh?
221.
211.
211. Yeah.
211.
Dial 211 to get resources in your local area.
So
if you're looking for anything like food bank, the local, DCFS office, or like, any kind of like government agency, like how, where can I go to get food stamps? They'll tell you, like, where can you go to get, financial food, stuff? Where can I go to this, that, whatever. Mental health help, sex abuse stuff. There's anything you can think of. They'll route you to the right resources. They'll give you the information, and then you just got to call that agency or go to their website or whatever you got to do, and then reach out to them and see what they can do to help you. But I have used 211 on I don't know how many occasions and have had lots of success. It has really helped me in many instances in finding resources that I needed to help me and my kids.
Yeah.
And from there, I would gain other resources, and I would talk to people, and I would find out where they went through or what they did. And then I would write everything down. I have like a whole book. I have like shitloads of resources I've compiled over the years from just all going through all the different things I've gone through in life.
Yeah.
And you just got to know what to do. I mean, Samantha, how many times did I use our resources? Like, holy shit. But just being homeless and going from a hotel to hotel to hotel. Freaking thank you, Expedia. Thank you, Agoda, and whatever the other fucking sites I used to find cheap hotel rooms, motel rooms, and whatever the hell else I had to do.
Well, where there's a will, there's a way.
That's what I'm saying. So I'm probably one of the most resourceful fucking people I know on this planet.
Yeah.
And I've taught both my children to be that way. Because I tell my son, like, don't fall down into a gutter and fold like a cheap suit. You need to fucking pick yourself up. You need to look up resources. You need to hit the ground running and just fucking look for shit. You got to do whatever you got to do to get yourself up out of it. Because nobody's just gonna fucking do shit for you.
When you're focused on woe is me, you could be using that energy to survive.
That's what I'm saying. And that's why he's the way he is. Why he's gotten day labor jobs and whatever the fuck else. Because I taught him to be that way. Resourceful. If you can't fucking do it one way, there's 10 other ways you can try to get it accomplished. So I said, I don't want to hear no fucking excuses.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to hear you whining, you bitching, you pissing, you moaning, because everybody's got problems.
That's right.
So what are you going to do about it? You're just going to lay down in the gutter and fucking die? Or you're going to pick yourself the fuck up and do something about it? Okay. I got a good comical story to leave you ladies with.
Go ahead.
Okay, so this does pertain to abuse. So it's pertinent to the subject.
Okay.
My mother was so manipulative in her abuse, like you were talking about how women tend to do like the manipulation route and shit like that, right? Or the financial whatever, like like holding the purse strings or whatever the fuck they, like certain things, right? So my sister tried to go back to her then husband. Yeah. When she was actually married to a man. Anyway, we're leaving that one alone. That's a whole other back.
That's a whole other show.
That's a whole other show. Anyway, so she decided they worked it out. They were trying to patch up their marriage and they were trying to get back together and work things out for the sake of their child. And at that time, it was my niece, and she was like 2.5, right? So she was going to fly to Colorado, where he was living at that time. He was stationed in the military or whatever, right? So she was going to go be with him there, and she was going to take their daughter with her, which that's her daughter.
Yeah.
She can take her fucking daughter. That's her husband. They're married. That's their child. They have every right to have their kid, right? My mother was so upset that my sister was going back to him after he had cheated on her, and that she was taking my niece with her because I think my mother had some empty, I don't know, she had some weird fucking thing. She had lost 2 babies, and I don't know if in her head, like, she was replacing those 2 babies with my niece, her granddaughter. Like, I don't know if like in her head it was like, no, that's like my child. No, it's like my child. No, it's not your child. It's your grandchild. Don't get it twisted. Right. Don't get it fucking twisted. That's your grandchild. It's not your child. Remember that. And so she was selling her car. We had like a green Pacer. It was such an ugly fucking car. She was selling that to my sister. My sister was making payments on it to her, right? Almost had it paid off and everything. My mother called the sheriff and lied on my sister and said that my sister had stolen the car.
She wanted to get her arrested.
Exactly. And
so
then
she
would be able to leave the state, and then she wouldn't take the kid. And then, you see what I'm saying? Like, my mother wasn't thinking, obviously. She was trying to manipulate and control the situation, and she went way too far with it. And I think that's the whole bipolar whack job shit that she never got help for. See, that's what I'm saying. Isn't that crazy? Like, that's how crazy some people will get with the manipulation and shit. That they'll go that far to call the cops on their own child so that the child won't leave the state to go back to their own husband with their own kid. Like, what the fuck is that shit? That's what I'm saying. Like, that level, like my mother, that was that manipulation shit. Yeah, and she's like the guilt. She'd do that whole guilt thing. And now I know where she got it from. It was my grandmother, her mother. Because that's why I ended up marrying husband number one.
Learned behavior.
Yep. See, and that's why I got married to husband number one. Because maybe my mom died, but then my grandmother became my mother, and then she controlled me. See what I'm saying? Ding, 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 ding. Yeah. Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. It's just crazy. Like, but I just thought that was funny, like, in that level of, like, manipulation, like, how crazy a fucking thing is. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, that's how crazy she was. Like, you know what I mean? Like, just nutty. Like, why would you do that? Like, I love my grandson, but not enough to want to raise him. Dude, I'm 51. I'll be 52 the end of January. I'm tired. I already raised my children. I don't want no fucking other kids. But maybe it's because I had my kids later. Right. Like, I didn't have my son till I was 25. And he didn't have any children until he was 23. You know what I mean? My mom had my sister when she was like 18. And then my sister had her daughter at like 21 or something. So, like, it was a younger age. So she was like 39 when she became a grandmother. I didn't become a grandmother until I was 48. I don't know. Plus, I'm not as nutty as that bitch. And I take medication.
It's mind-blowing. It's mind-blowing.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. The crazy shit. Manipulation from a female can go to that level. I'm not saying men don't manipulate too, because they do. Yeah. There's just sometimes looks in a different way than what a woman would do. And women are more calculated and sneaky and vindictive and vengeful.
Well, here's
more
something
petty. They'll do really petty fucking shit.
Here's something about the manipulation with men. I was reading the other day. It said something about some men, how they manipulate. They'll tell their girlfriend or wife that, oh, you're not that pretty, or, you know.
Negging. They're doing what they call negging. It's called negging. Yeah. Where it's like a negative. They do a negative
to put their self-esteem down or something.
Right, or something like, right, yeah.
That's
it's crazy.
That is crazy.
But that's just emotional abuse. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you, dude?
Well, to make them think that nobody else would want them, you know.
I got you, like, to that level. Yeah. That's fucking stupid. That is so stupid. I mean, if a woman is like, I don't know. I've never had self-confidence issues in those aspects. No. Just like that whole, like, I was extremely skinny till I was 25, and then I got fat after that because I don't know. Depression, psych meds, Depo-Provera shots, you know what I mean? Like, all these different fucking things. I had a kid that fucking made me gain 50 pounds. Then this one made me gain about 34 or 35. Like, it was just never ending. Like,
well, your body changes.
After that, I was just too fucking tired and beat down by working like 2 jobs. I was exhausted. I had no fucking energy to exercise. I'm working 2 jobs, being a single mother, trying to take care of 2 kids and a man child. Chris. I was talking about Chris, man child. Samantha, a man child. I was supporting a man child. Oh wait, your father too, a man child. Yes, I was supporting that man child. I supported that man child also. I supported. It was a Howard, Danny, John, Chris. But Chris actually took care of the pets, took care of the children, and kept the house spotless. So he actually did just as much work as I did, if not more. So I'm leaving that one alone. He cheated on me, and he's a pedo. I'm sorry. He's a pedophile and a cheater, but at least he took care of the kids and the pets.
In my head,
he never touched my children.
Thank God.
That I do know, because he wouldn't be alive to tell the tale.
I said, in my opinion, that's the least he could do. But
so here's a funny story for you, Samantha. Before we end tonight, here's a good one for you. So Chance was working for Chris at a local business. Chris was his supervisor. Chris is a supervisor at this company. We're not going to mention the company or none of that shit. We're not going to say this dude's last name. We're just going to say Chris. That's all. Okay. So he works for this local company, a big company apparently, and he's an actual higher up, like a supervisor. And my son worked under him a few weeks back. And he put my son, it was like a day labor place, and he made sure that my son got asked to not return. But the reason why was because Chance did whatever he said. He didn't give him an attitude. He knew he needed a job. He needed to make money for his kid. So he sucked it up, and he wasn't coming at Chris that way. He wasn't being all like that, because he knew he had to have a job and have money. So, and he's like, I'm on probation. I can't be affording to get into it with this guy. I'm all fucking set. I'm all set. So he was just like, I don't want no issues. So Chris came up to him, and he was just like, hey, what's up? Trying to be like, what do you need me to do? Just trying to keep it on a work level. Oh, where do you need me to go? What do you need me to do? Just like that. You know what I mean? And then I guess Chris said something to him. Chris said something to me he says, okay, well, we got to work together. Let's just work together and just keep it on a professional level, and we're all good, whatever. And then Chris made the mistake of asking him, how's your mom doing?
I tried stalking him on Facebook.
Chance did not rip his head off. Chance said, hey, let's keep this to work, please. I'm trying to be respectful here. Can we just keep this to work? Please don't ask me about my mom.
Well, he did good.
He said, don't ask me about that. In other words, you don't have a right to ask about any of that. But he didn't say it like that. He just said, let's not go there. Let's keep it about work. Please don't ask me about that. But then I guess Chris felt some kind of fucking way and put him on a do not return to that facility. But whatever. He's lucky my son didn't grab him the fuck up and beat the fuck out of him.
Oh my goodness.
But my son has too much to lose out on. But who knows? My son might have also taken an attitude with him and be lying to me about what he said to the guy. He might have scared the shit out of him. I don't know, because my son's a liar. Mm-hmm. So I'm trying to take him at his word, but I don't know.
Sometimes you can't.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So I don't know, yes or no, whatever. Anyway, but I thought that was kind of funny.
That was. One of our, somebody wrote in and it says, verbal abuse gives low self-esteem.
Yes.
Outfit checks. Who's?
Oh, these are from a while ago.
Oh,
yeah. 8:27 p.m.
Yes,
Okay.
very true. Yes, when you see something that is not right, not fair, not just, you have to speak up. You have to say something. You have to do something. Yes, I agree. And especially if you see like kids at school.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I have a friend that's in an abusive relationship with another friend. Oh, yeah, that's always hard, especially when you. Oh, yeah. Uh-huh. I've seen guys put trackers on people's phones and stuff like that to know who's calling when you get the call and so yeah.
Oh my goodness. Huh.
Yeah. Yeah. That's crazy. That's a
That's
massive form of manipulation. Like
yeah.
like put a tracker on their phone or making them check in
Yeah.
regularly with them and stuff. Like
I never knew anybody who that happened. I seen it on TV once, but that's just crazy.
no, yeah, I've seen people do that. Like I've had some friends that were in that type of situation where the man
Wow.
wanted to know where they were at all times and would call them just
Yeah.
randomly all day and crazy fucking shit. Like, and I'm so sorry you gotta, you have friends that are going through that type of stuff.
Yeah.
Um, I've had friends that have told me some serious fucking shit that they went through in the past, but I know that she would never allow those types of things ever again. So I'm gonna leave her name out of this type of stuff.
Yeah.
But I do have other friends who've been through some really horrible fucking shit, like being held a prisoner in their own home, having a lock put on the thermostat control. Putting a lock on the refrigerator.
What? There are so many crazy people out there.
Sex trafficking their own children or stepchildren.
Wow. So,
Passing them around to their buddies and shit, like
oh my
evil,
goodness.
just evil shit. I've heard some stuff. I've heard some stuff from some fucking people over the years. I will never say names, but I know I've heard some really fucked up stories from women and men over the years of just horrible abuse, horrible. Just when I sit there and I talk about my own situation or whatever, and then I'm like, some of these people have been through even a million times more than I've been through.
Yeah.
Even with what I've been through, like there's always somebody out there who's been through something way worse
definitely.
than you.
Definitely.
Like I always look at my life like that, like be thankful for what I have.
Right. It could have been worse.
Because there's somebody out there who always has it way worse than you.
Yeah,
so be thankful for what you do have in this life.
Whatever
that may be. You know what I mean? Even when your life is at the most bleakest, most horrible, always try to find a silver lining.
Yeah.
Always trying to find the good in something.
You
always try to be like thankful that you have great friends or a great family member or your love of horror saved your life. Your love of music saved your life. It could be
whatever it is.
Whatever it is. Whatever it is, whatever you love, your love of comic books, whatever it is, whatever that has saved you in this world.
Well, you also got to think too, like you said, it could have been worse.
It could always be worse.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I could have been being raped by my uncle.
And beat to death.
Or beat to death, or being beaten with belts and other implements and things. Like it can always be worse. I've heard of people who were raped by their own stepfather, or their own father, or grandfather, or just creepy shit.
True.
I have family members that I'm not gonna say who. I don't like to bring up certain things. Stuff that's happened in life, people whose family members have done things to them.
Yeah.
Like a relative. I had a relative whose brother raped them, or I have a woman whose uncle raped them when they were young. You know what I mean? Like creepy shit, just creepy things.
Yeah.
I'm not going to name names or say how I know these people or how they're related to me or any of that type of shit, because for their own protection and their own, because they don't maybe want their story put out there like that.
Exactly. Yeah.
So I, out of respect for these particular people, maybe I'll talk abstractly about a situation, but I will never say who it is, because that's their story to tell, not mine.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well,
I can speak to the abuse in the house because I was there, but thank you, Samantha, so much for that wonderful,
awesome
wonderful thing. Thank you, and thank you to China Myers.
Thanks
for an incredible conversation,
and thanks, Jennifer, for a great show as usual. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Appreciate all of you, and for opening up and telling people a little bit more about your stories. And thank you, Samantha Bailey, for the wonderful slideshow. We appreciate you. And thank you to all of our viewers and or listeners out there around the world. We appreciate you. You can find us, go to, I just do this one because it has links to everything. My Linktree page, go to Linktree, type in at Jennifer DeVoe Muse. I do it that way just because I have links to our the Venus and Mars show. I have links to all our pages, like our Facebook page, our Instagram page. But if you want to go to our individual pages for the Venus and Mars show, it is the Venus and Mars Show podcast on Facebook, Instagram, and then if you go on X, which I don't even know why I have it on X anymore. It's a horrid fucking platform now. Anyway, it's just a bunch of political evilness. So anyway, just go to our X page is was it capital V, little n, little s, capital M, little ARS show. Like, I don't know. Just look up, just type in the Venus and Mars show on X. It'll fucking burl it up.
Anyway. Then you have to pay for a premium to make a long post. So I don't even post on X because I'm like,
oh no, I just do short posts on there. Fuck that shit. I do very short, quick posts. Here you go. I actually, you can live stream to X. You can live stream to X. I can live stream. Anyway, I live stream to our LinkedIn page or all our shit. I don't care. But you can go on and find us anywhere. And you can also find all our other links, I guess, at Jennifer DeVoe Muse. You can find us on Spotify. We're on YouTube. We're on Twitch. If you go on Twitch or YouTube, just type in at Get Real Global TV. So we're Get Real Global TV. We're also Get Real Global Radio KGRL on Spreaker. So that's SPREAKER.com. You can listen to our podcast on Spreaker. We're also on iHeartRadio. We are on, what else? Amazon Music, Audible, Apple Podcasts, Deezer, and a bunch of other stuff. But I love that we're on Spotify too. So you can hear us on there also, or watch us, like I said, either on our YouTube channel or our Twitch channel, which is Get Real Global TV. But thank you, everybody, for watching. We appreciate you. Please like our pages. Go on our social media, everything. Please also share our videos and our websites and whatever else, our social media stuff. And then also follow us on like Spotify and other places. And then also subscribe to our YouTube channel, Get Real Global TV. We appreciate you and everything that you do and for watching and listening today. And today has been about the subject of abuse in its many forms.
Yeah.
But thank you all for watching the Venus.
You learned something.
Yes, and we do hope that you learned something. And hopefully this will open up conversations to make relationships between men and women better.
Yep.
But thank you, everybody. We will be back next week. What now?
Did you talk about the sponsor, W Energy?
Sorry, W Energy. Don't forget, go to
You gotta make a slide for that.
I'm going to make a whole video for that shit is what I'm going to do. I'm just going to make a W Energy video, and it's going to say that. Okay. But go on W.gg, DUBBY.gg, and you can get all your amazing W Energy energy products. They're all natural. They have vitamins like different B vitamins, and they got vitamin C. They got all kinds of great stuff, brain boosting stuff.
Guys.
It's really good. It's all natural. There's no sugar in it. So go check it out, W.gg. They got some really interesting names for their products. But it's really good. It tastes great, and it's really good for you. So go check it out, W.gg.
Here's an idea. Wow. Make it part of your outro video.
Yes, I actually was going to do that. That is very smart. So I'm gonna do all that. Good, smart. You're a smart woman. Smart woman.
She's very smart.
I don't know where she gets it from. I have no fucking. I know it's not her father. That's all I do know. Low IQ motherfucker.
Oh, let me fix it. Hold on.
You're no better than that orange motherfucker, an orangutan that's running for president. I'm sorry, what? Low IQ motherfucker.
What'd you say, Samantha?
Wait, hold on. Before you go, wait, fix it, you dumb hoe. Okay, I fixed the comment. It does say Get Real Global TV, but for some reason it's not adjusting to my edit.
God damn it. Anyway, yes, use code Get Real Global TV to get 10% off your W Energy products today on W.gg. Again, Get Real Global TV to get your 10% discount. We'll see you next week. Tomorrow night on Wicked Entertaining. On Fridays, we do a show called Wicked Entertaining, where it's all about the world of entertainment, and we like to showcase different artists from around the world and find out what they're doing and play their music videos and or talk about their books or whatever they like to do. Tomorrow night, we've got public relations expert Raquel Figlo. She's worked with everybody that's big in the industry. Find out who tomorrow night, 9 p.m. Eastern Time. That's 6 p.m. Pacific Time on Get Real Global TV. We're also on Rock Rage Radio, Rock Rage Live, and a bunch of other sites. But check us out tomorrow night on Wicked Entertaining.
Yep.
And then Saturday on Fear and Fascination, Horror, Sci-Fi, and Fantasy Unleashed, we're going to delve into the subject of slasher films from the 60s, 70s, and 80s. We're going to start a journey of exploration into these psychotic motherfuckers that like to hack and slash. We're going to be talking about Norman Bates.
Oh, that's a good one.
That was what kicked it all off in the 60s. Mm-hmm. And then in the 70s and 80s, you got the crazy shit like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Mm-hmm. You've got nutty stuff like Halloween. You've got Halloween. You've got Friday the 13th. You've got the Child's Play movies with Chucky. You've got friggin' Freddy, Nightmare on Elm Street. You got like all these different characters. So many. Oh, Sleepaway Camp movies. There's so many slasher movies out there. So we're going to be talking about all the best ones from the 60s, 70s, and 80s right here on our Get Real Global TV. And again, that one's called Fear and Fascination, Horror, Sci-Fi, and Fantasy Unleashed. And very shortly, we have 3 podcasts right now. Count them 3. We're about to have a 4th one soon. It's going to be called Gagging for More. Check us out. We're going to be interviewing drag artists from around the world. So that'll be on Saturdays at 5 p.m. Eastern Time, which is 2 p.m. Pacific Time. And the Fear and Fascination, that's Saturdays at 7 p.m. Eastern time, which is 4 p.m. Pacific time. Got to think all the goddamn time, like all these fucking time zones. I'm just gonna start just saying, no, just East Coast. Anyway, all right. Well, anyway, thank you everybody. Appreciate you guys for watching. We'll see you tomorrow night with Raquel Figlo on Wicked Entertaining. Bye.
Yeah. Bye, guys.
Why are you still? What are you doing?
What's up? I was watching the outro. I normally am like, oh, well, we get to chill, but you always kick me out before I even get to say goodbye. I'm like, rude.
The stream is still going on because you're on here. Night. Bye. It's still saying recording. Bye.